Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, directed by DaCosta. So this is the fourth in the franchise of the 28 films. I reviewed the previous three films last year. I think they all have flaws. I enjoyed the first two the most. I found 28 Years, the last one, disappointing. It really felt like a wasted opportunity. Bone Temple is an improvement, I think, but I'm still disappointed overall. That said, there is an absolutely knockout moment that meant I left the cinema on a high, a real wow moment. I want to talk about this later, so there will be a spoiler, but I'll give notice of that. This film has more horror than 28 Years Later. It's more gory, and I do like that. I do think it works well. The development of the alpha zombie is interesting too. I loved the sound effects of the alpha, the kind of wild animal noises. And I thought the zombie scenes that we did have were good, but I think that this film needed more zombie action. When I watch a zombie film, I want to see zombies, but this film is more about the Jimmy Savile Teletubbies cult. I found the comedy in this film just a bit silly, and I'm a bit troubled by the whole Jimmy Savile thing because there are many abuse victims of Jimmy Savile, and I just don't know how the film sits with me in terms of using it for comedy when there are still many victims in a process of healing. I think that this is an interesting franchise, trying to take the zombie genre somewhere new. But in some ways it's a shame. I think zombie is a simple genre, and it's important not to make a zombie film too complicated. There are several interesting storylines in this film. The idea of a resistance, the communicating with the zombies, and the idea of cults. I think that there's a reasonable attempt at developing these themes, but I did feel that it never fully commits to any of them. It always moves on a bit too quickly. I do think it's a bit better than the last one, 28 Years Later, in the sense that there's a bit more story. But on the whole, I just think the Jimmy Savile thing is so misjudged. I also found the fact that the Doctor befriends Samson so unrealistic. It just seemed to happen too easily. I know there's something absurd about me claiming that zombie films should be realistic, but there you are. There is a very special moment in this film, and this is where I am going to give a spoiler. Wow, the ending. I did leave the cinema on a high. It really blew me away. I loved seeing Cillian Murphy from the first film. I loved hearing the original music. I love franchises that reference earlier films like this. I left the cinema with a big smile. This was very satisfying. Overall, if you've enjoyed the franchise, it's good enough, this film. All the films have flaws for me, but they're still enjoyable, and this one the same, especially with that ending. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.